Today we have something very special to go over, and that is the Kalito Bean Seeker. This is an iced coffee dripper, and it's an automatic one, and it is very, very cool and has a lot of unique features when it comes to making iced coffee. So this is brought to you by a Kickstarter that is either launching soon or might have even released by the time this video is made, but the link will be in the description for you to order this and back it on Kickstarter. I got an early release, so there's this company called Espresso Outlet that's based in the US. They're known for bringing Turin grinders into the US as a distributor. They own 3 websites as kind of a part of one company. So they own espressooutlet.net, they own Kalito Roasters, and that's the USA distributor of that, which is small roasters like the M1 all the way up to large roasters like the M10 for various capacity for home coffee roasting. And they also own this other company, which is the US Turin grinders. So they distribute Turin grinders all throughout the US, which have been gaining a lot of traction over the past few years. So it's kind of a 3-in-1 company. But anyway, Espresso Outlet is the one that is releasing this iced coffee dripper with Kickstarter. So they have done a lot of testing with it, and a lot of different employees there have been testing this for months on end to make sure it's the best possible for you. I was fortunate enough to get my hands on one a little early, so I want to go over a few of the features along with this. This is not a paid video, but I did get this unit for free in exchange for a review. So I want to go over a few things that mine came with. This is an early release again, so subject to change on some of these. It came with 5 accessories actually. We have paper filters, which you can use AeroPress filters too as well if you run out of these. You can also use puck screens. I've seen some people do that as well. It came with some little straws with the bendable corners on them, which I'll explain a little bit more later like that. And it came with some V60 style filters, but they just feel a little different and less papery than before. But again, you can change out the dripper on this machine. So this is the dripper that it came with. You can change it out to a origami, anything that fits under here you can basically put on there. So you have a lot of ability to customize what you want in there. It also comes with this carafe here. This is honestly probably one of the coolest looking carafes and stuff that I've seen. It's got some nice waves. It's pretty easy to clean because you're just putting iced coffee in here. But it has the Bean Seeker and Kalito logo on it. It also comes with like a little lid to go with it, but you're obviously not going to need that to brew. It comes with 2 of these tubes right here, and these tubes simply stick into the back. There's a lot of water reservoir thing, so just basically you shove the tube in here, which also means you can shove a straw in there. That is why it includes those bendy straws. So also the last thing it comes with, which I did not know what this was, but this can be used as a stir stick, or it can be used to touch the screen on here as well. These lights can be shut off in the menu, so if you go through and click, you're probably not going to see this on the camera, but that is okay. There's a little menu button, and you can shut off the lights, and it also beeps, and I shut that off well. And I'm not sure how the lights flicker in the video, so I'm just going to shut that off now. So the interesting thing about this is you put like lukewarm tap water in here, or not tap water. You want to use the best water quality as possible. So right here in my little Nalgene, which we'll get to here soon, I have third wave water in here, or I use a Brita filter typically for it. But you can make a couple different adjustments on here. You can change the temperature in Celsius. You can change the amount of water that comes out of this machine per hour, and you can change your target weight in here. So this bottom part of the machine is a built-in scale. So what you simply do is you put your carafe here, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take your paper filter. I never really wet these. I occasionally do on pour overs, but I don't really find too big of a deal on it. So you can wet it if you want to, and having a hard time of actually getting the filter opened. We'll get there maybe. Or I'll just grab a different one. Sometimes that's what you need to do. But what I did here is I took a kind of a little bit bigger than a pour AeroPress size setting on my DF64 Gen 2, which that review will come out soon. And this is not an extensive review on it. I've used this a handful of times, and am still working on dialing in everything well. But what I'm doing right now is I put 25 grams of V60 or AeroPress size settings here, and I put it inside the filter here, make it as flat as possible, and then you're going to take this little paper screen and you're going to try to put it right in the center of it, covering up as much of the grounds as possible, so you have something that looks somewhat like that. And then you're going to simply put this in the center of here, and this is where the cool part is. So the on and off switch is on the back. It's currently on. You're going to just take this little tube, unscrew your Nalgene or any water reservoir that you have. I just do like these little 16-ounce Nalgenes because they work well and they get the job done. So you're going to enter that hose in there, and then you are going to simply go back to your screen, and you're going to click, make sure you have your scale zeroed out, which I did not. And you're going to click start, and that's going to turn on the machine and turn on the fan, and it's going to drip water. So right now it's making consistent drips, and it will be dripping for 1 hour. So I have a 1-to-10 ratio on my iced coffee maker. And the shocking thing is, so this is like a refrigeration system in here. So this is actually going to cool the water to the temperature that I want from here. Now, a disclosure is I'm not a big fan of iced coffee. Like, that's never my go-to. I have tried quite a bit of different things. I've done the style of a dripped iced coffee maker where you have a little dial here that you adjust, and you put ice water in the top, and it kind of goes through a system. Kind of a tower styled iced coffee maker. I've tried throwing it in a French press and then kind of removing that stuff after sitting for a few hours. I've done toddy cold brew. That's probably my favorite in the realm of the fact that I can make a huge batch if I'm going somewhere for a group of people. Or I do a flash brewed V60. So basically I do like 26 grams of coffee, and then I brew super slowly, and I do that over 220 grams of ice, and I pour 220 grams of water in there, making it similar to a 1-to-16 ratio, but that hot liquid instantly melts and gets diluted by the ice to make a pretty decent sized group of it. But so the problem with a lot of things like iced coffee makers is it takes forever to be done. Usually somewhere around the 24-hour mark or 6-hour mark. This does it in like an hour. You can slow it down, you can speed it up, you can adjust it based off of your settings, and it's incredible. I honestly, part of me didn't really want to like this at all because it does take up space on your counter, and I have a lot of other things that I like on my counters. I was very, very surprised at the quality of iced coffee that came out of it. It drips super consistently. It's a pretty much set and forget type of a thing versus some of the other ones you kind of have to come back and adjust as the water goes through to make sure you're dripping at 1 second or 1 drip per second or so like that. So far, I've been really enjoying the experimenting with this and the adjustment of this machine and how this works. And I think this is going to be a really, really big game changer for the people who are into iced coffee. Since, like I said, it takes way less time. Like, it takes an hour to brew this coffee from cold water, and that sounds like a long time, but in reality of brewing coffee in this method, that's a very, very short time. We're gonna let this sit for a little bit, and hopefully we'll come back in about an hour, and we're gonna test it then and see where we're at on the quality of this. All right. So we are back now. The extraction has been completed. There's a little indicator on top of the machine, on the screen of the machine when that is done. So I'm just going to go ahead and do cleanup a little bit, which is just simply take my Nalgene and close it, which is my water reservoir, and you can see that it went through a good amount of water in there. When I shake it back and forth, the right amount of water, if you want to be specific on that. So then I'm going to just simply take the dripper and put it over a cup just to get off any of the excess. And when it comes to getting a fancy machine like this, the first thing you need to do is also get yourself a nice fancy little cup to test it from. So the interesting thing about this that is just unique is when it comes out, it's already super cold, and I don't like, obviously ice would be beneficial, but ice will not be melting very quickly in this because it's not going to have to chill the liquid. So yeah, let's give it a taste and see the thoughts on the Kalito Bean Seeker. Super clean, super unique. I think one of the most interesting things about the way that you brew coffee is the fact that the same coffee can taste a different way. So that being said, we are going to be doing some more testing on this machine. This is my first initial impression on it. I have not really had enough time to fully get a grasp on a full review of it, but I'm going to be testing this between a couple other ways that I make iced coffee or cold brew coffee for that matter. So I'm going to use a toddy. I'm going to use kind of a tower dripper style thing, and then I'm going to do flash brew coffee, and then I'm going to do this, put them all side by side, and simply just do a taste. But so far, I'm really happy with the flavor that you get out of this and the cleanliness that you get out of it. There's no grit since it's going through all these filters, and overall, it just leaves you a really, really good cup, a really desirable cup, and something that I think many people will enjoy drinking when it comes to straight black iced coffee. But I really do think Bean Seeker is going to change the game when it comes to iced coffee. They're not paying me to say this or anything like that. I would not come and make a video on something to give any kind of recommendation if I didn't believe in the product myself. You can always expect an honest review regardless of who sent me the product and regardless of what the product is. But overall, the Kalito Bean Seeker, I think this is going to be exciting. I'm excited to see the Kickstarter, have all the information out there in front of you. You can find a link for that in the description below. I'm not sure if it's currently out yet or if it will be coming out soon, but either way, it's coming out very quickly if it's not already out yet. If you've made it this far, please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think, and let me know if this is something that you think you might back on Kickstarter and your thoughts on this. But overall, this is a phenomenal machine, and I think anybody who buys it will love it. Thanks for watching.